So you know how we'll occasionally get those images that get posted on places like Reddit, and it's showcasing a picture of the back end of the GameStop computer, and there's a mystery SKU, or maybe several of them even, for the Switch, and a lot of times that leads to speculation around a direct, or maybe even a special edition system or something getting revealed. Well, this did happen pretty recently for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and it turns out Nintendo wasn't happy. In fact, they actually tracked the person down, and we're going to go over that story here today. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the Spawn Wave Plus channel. There's something I've always told you guys, and that's Nintendo does not mess around with these different leaks, especially around things like art books or their systems. If they feel like they can find you, they will. And, well, we can see this was posted up over on Kotaku, where they say GameStop fires guy after Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch leak. There was apparently an investigation, a suspension, and then the eventual firing with a reason that was sort of given, but one that's not that surprising to me if it is indeed correct. They said this week GameStop fired the employee who leaked the news, and the employee claims he was told Nintendo helped make it happen. Here's the image, by the way, that was posted up on Reddit. You may have come across this. We already figured that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch was going to be announced because it leaked before that. Like, just images were shown, and we were trying to figure out when Nintendo would talk about Tears of the Kingdom anyway. And we figured, 10 minutes with Mr. Aonuma, I'm sure the Switch will be there towards the end of it, right? And it was. So, hey, and after that, Wood unboxed it. So that Nintendo hasn't had a great run with this particular special edition, now that I think about when it comes to leaks. However, Mike, who is the person that was named here by Kotaku, went into work one day for GameStop after posting that up on Reddit. They said a week later on April 5th, goes into work, they call him into the back, and that's the worst, right? When your supervisor calls you into the back, you either figure you're in trouble or you're getting a promotion. It's like two ends of the emotional spectrum when it comes to your job. But said he immediately confessed here. They put him on suspension, took his key, goes home, and then April 11th, they said that he was fired. But they did mention here, off the record, that Nintendo had forced the company's hand, demanding the employee be terminated over the leak. So when someone says it's off the record, it doesn't mean you go, oh, he told me off the record, here's what they said. That means they're just telling you privately necessarily, and you just kind of keep it to yourself. There was also one quote at the bottom that I found interesting for a lot of the people who are like big time fans of Nintendo, and they do that thing where they really defend hard online over it. But they said, what a shame it was that this is your favorite company and now they hate you. Wow, that's rough. But this is Nintendo. Nintendo is a very petty company, I guess is the best way to describe it. Although Nintendo in general is very protective of their intellectual properties, and when it comes down to leaks overall, they spend a lot of money trying to fight against them or silence them or basically just get them out of the picture if they think it could lead to more leaks down the road. I will say this, though. I think it's pretty obvious to anyone looking at this situation that Mike, putting that stuff out there from GameStop's computer system is violating some sort of privacy or company policy or something there, right? And that's what GameStop and what their official, I guess, what their official statement would be around this. And the reason that they gave for him being terminated at that point in terms of his job was you violated our company policy around posting up quote unquote confidential information, which, yeah, technically things in the computer system would also be people's information for signing up around the card that you get, any pre-orders, all that stuff in that computer system would be considered protected and not being posted up on places like Reddit. And I will say this isn't necessarily something that is specific to GameStop, because when you do wholesale ordering for these different companies, they would at times have games in there that were not actually announced yet. And part of the understanding and even things you would sign to do business with them was what you see in here, especially even the pricing, by the way. You couldn't talk about pricing or anything, would stay confidential as long as you're doing business with us. And as soon as you decide to break that confidentiality, you're no longer doing business with them. And that's kind of how it is. And it's tough, especially back during the late 360, early or late 360 PS3, early Xbox One PS4, it was difficult to do much of anything with new games if you could not order at wholesale prices, which were still like $50 or $51 for a $60 game, but it gave you at least some wiggle room there. And then if you can get trade-ins on those games because you get them early and you don't break street date, there's a lot going on there, a lot of reasons to keep it private, which is also on GameStop's side. Let's say Nintendo really was showing up and pressuring them, and you know they have some of these big releases coming up, like the new Zelda game. You can throw Pikmin 4 in there, but they have a new system, we assume, coming up in the next 12 to 18 months. GameStop wants to definitely keep doing business with them, and while retail is getting less and less power overall with the move to digital, they don't necessarily want to accelerate that, especially over one employee posting something randomly on Reddit. And I guess if you're Nintendo, it makes even more sense now than before to try to get rid of any of these sources of leaked information. We heard about in China where that forum that was posting stuff from manufacturing, it sounded like Nintendo may have gotten involved there and silenced that leaking situation, and now this. And as Nintendo continues to build up to the eventual launch of the next gen system, they don't want it getting out there early. And this was a very bad look for Nintendo in general because this system leaked all over the place. And all this is just another example of why you really shouldn't mess with Nintendo, because they got the time and they got the money, and if they can find you, they'll track you down. So let me know what you guys think about all of this down below, with GameStop apparently being pressured by Nintendo to fire an employee over an image that was posted up on Reddit. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.